There's been a kidnapping. It's Rachel, the daughter of the president of Sertia. Get into the castle and rescue Rachel.
Sometime, somewhere, someone is plotting a government overthrow. A small republic is in danger. It's time for the one-man army. Richard Miller.
She must be dead by now.
Don't come!
Rachel McPherson.
Since you have traveled so very far, be my guest and let me entertain you.
Cherudo Garo.
Just to be sure.
Wild Dog. Time Crisis.
Your father will pay the price for destroying the Imperial rule.
Hey everybody, welcome back to TTBurger Game Reviews, and I am TTBurger88, but you can call me Tony, okay?
Okay.
Okay, cool. Today I want to talk about the days of when I was a kid playing games in the arcades. When I played games in the arcades, I played tons of them, ranging from racing, fighting, and more. For today's episode of TTBurger Game Reviews, I will be doing another series review, and this time it will be on a game series that I was introduced to in the arcades, just like how I was introduced to with Tekken and stuff. And that series is Time Crisis. This episode will be in 5 parts. Part 1 will cover Time Crisis. Part 2 will cover Time Crisis Project Titan, a side story which was exclusive to the PlayStation. Part 3 will cover Time Crisis 2. Part 4 will cover Time Crisis 3. And Part 5 will cover Time Crisis 4. Before I get started here, I will be saying that I will not be covering Time Crisis Crisis Zone or Time Crisis Raising Storm, because Time Crisis Crisis Zone wasn't even a Time Crisis game in the first place. It was a spin-off released after the first game, and it sucks. It has nothing to do with the series at all. And the game wasn't even called Time Crisis Crisis Zone in it. They just slapped it on here for marketing, and that was basically it. And Time Crisis Raising Storm, please, everybody knows that that game is a disgrace to the Time Crisis series. And they tried to turn to the Call of Duty fans by making it a very bad first-person shooter, and guess what? It failed miserably! But with that out of the way, let's get started with talking about Time Crisis on the PlayStation Arcades by Namco, released first in 1995 in the arcades and then on the PlayStation 2 years later. Now I will start off by saying that I didn't play this game as soon as it came out in the arcades because in 1995 I was only 6 years old. It was only until late 1999 early 2000 was when I stumbled upon Time Crisis in the arcade. And then I enjoyed it. What I liked about this game was it made you feel like you were actually holding a gun with a light gun controller, also known as the gun con. And you use the controller by aiming with your eyes to shoot the targets. It was a simple concept and it worked. The PlayStation version came with its own gun con controller, which I'll show right here. And this version here is pretty much the first one that came out in North America and Europe, because the original one from Japan was black, and obviously they had to color it because they didn't want kids to give them something that looked like a real gun. But this one came out first, and the one that came with Project Titan is the orange one, which I'll show you guys in part 2. But now, getting that out of the way, let's talk about Time Crisis, the game itself. First off, let's start with the story, like how we usually do. The story of Time Crisis takes place in the year 1995, on the fictional island of Sertia, where the people of Sertia overthrew the imperial rule of Cherudo Garo, a cruel dictator and the last blood relative of his family. He was overthrown when William McPherson became the first elected president of Sertia. Afterwards, Cherudo became allies with the organized crime syndicate called Wild Dog in order to take back the country. 3 months later, while at her university campus, William McPherson's daughter Rachel was enjoying herself when a helicopter landed nearby and a man walked out asking her if she was Rachel. The man, who was known as Wild Dog, who had been working for Cherudo, kidnapped Rachel, threatened to kill her unless her father resigned from the office, and reinstated him into the throne. Rachel is now being imprisoned in Cherudo's family castle on a remote island, demanding violative military secrets in exchange for Rachel's life as well. William learned of what happened to his daughter and called the Vital Situation Swift Elimination International Intelligence Agency, aka V.S.S.E, in hopes their top agent will get his daughter back. Richard Miller, V.S.S.E's top agent, who was given the nickname the One-Man Army, has been sent to infiltrate Shirudo's castle and rescue Rachel. Now in my opinion, like I said, the story is simple and gets the job done. I know this is the type of story that has been done to death, but it doesn't bother me because I like these type of stories in video games. Graphically, I know that the PlayStation version of Time Crisis doesn't look as good as the original arcade version due to hardware limitations, but for me the graphics still look great and still get the job done, and they come very close to matching with the arcade version. The character models look great and the backgrounds are nice too, and also the frame rate is really smooth throughout the entire game. And that's pretty much all I can say about the graphics because that's all there is to it. They look great, they're simple, they get the job done. Sound-wise, it's also just as good as the graphics. The music is the best part and fits the game and its setting perfectly, consisting of orchestral sounding tunes that sound excellent. The voice acting is hokey and it's what you expect back in the day because a lot of games like this that were originally in the arcades had hokey voice acting, and here there was a lot of hokey voice acting in this game, and I am perfectly fine with it.
Look out!
My name is Shirudo. I rule this nation now. So, you are the fool who came to rescue Rachel. Since you have traveled so very far, be my guest and let me entertain you!
The gameplay in Time Crisis is awesome. Like I mentioned earlier that this game came with a gun controller, but I am unable to use the gun controller because playing this on a modern TV and such, it won't recognize that you have it plugged in. So I had to use the regular controller for this, which is good that I can still play the game, but I will admit that I cannot beat this game for the life of me, because I will admit right now, I suck at it. I did get pretty far. I got up to like the first area of the third stage, which is the last stage, but I will admit that I cannot beat this game without cheating. I know you shouldn't cheat to beat a game and stuff like that, but to me the game was very hard, and I just suck at it. But I got far, so it's better than nothing. The gameplay, like I said, is exactly the same as the arcade version. Your only objectives are aiming and shooting. Simple concept, and it works well. You can also use the PlayStation mouse controller, and it works better than using the regular controller itself, but I notice at times that the regular controller can be a little clunky, and the PlayStation mouse is a little better with the movement, but you don't get a crosshair at all in the game, so you have to guess where you're aiming and shooting and stuff. I would say something about its length, how you can complete in about an hour or less, but lots of games are like this in the arcades, and they are very short, so it's not a problem at all. Aside from the arcade mode, you have the special mode that features an all-new story exclusive to the PlayStation version that takes place several months after the original game's story, but I wasn't a big fan of this story in the special mode, which is called Kentara Steel, because the story in this mode is about an arms dealer factory led by Kentaris, disguised as a Circean hotel that ties into a Wildlife organization. I just wasn't big into it because stories like this have been done to death, where they have a hotel disguised as a factory and stuff like that. It's been done to death. I should also mention that there are multiple paths to take in this special mode, but the arcade mode is a lot better for me. That's all I'm going to say, that I like the arcade mode better. And besides that though, I have nothing else to say about Time Crisis. It's a very challenging and fun game where I will make it be better in some parts, like with the special mode and such, but besides that though, there isn't much else to say about this game. So my final rating goes like this. Time Crisis is definitely a must-buy for those who are fans of on-rail shooters and fans who enjoy games like this in the arcade. The rating that I will give Time Crisis is a 9 out of 10 due to the fact that you can't use the gun controller on a modern TV and because the special mode isn't that great. But still, if you like it, hey, more power to you. Stay tuned for part 2 where I'll be looking at Time Crisis Project Titan, which is exclusively on the PlayStation and serves as a side story to the original Time Crisis. This is Tony, aka TTBurger88. Peace out, and see you all in part 2, and have a great day.
Richard, there's an emergency. There's been a kidnapping. It's Rachel, the daughter of the president of Sersia. The kidnapper is believed to be Shirudo, the last blood relative of the royal family. He lives in an old castle on the Northwest Island. He's demanding military secrets in exchange for Rachel's life. The deadline is sunset. We don't have much time. Get into the castle and rescue Rachel. The organized crime syndicate Wild Dogs is also known to be involved. Good luck, Richard.